Right, well, hello there folks. Today I'm going to give you a 2 versus 2. This is a postcast of the final in the recent Clopsey 2v2 Legion tournament. And the stream kind of broke, or rather Twitch kind of broke towards the end of the tournament. People were saying that they couldn't see it, so I tried to restart the stream, at which point I realised, or we all realised, that it was actually an error at Twitch's side, and we couldn't get the stream redoing, so this is to fill that in. One game apiece now, DirtyApples and AdmiralGeneral in white, versus Pag, Colossal and Aknod in gunmetal grey. On the forgery, and yeah, it's the forgery, we've seen it several times. There's not a lot to be said. There may be a couple of metal sites that haven't generated based on the PA stats replay thing, because of course that is an issue. It looks as though they're all here, but I might be wrong. It looks fine, but as I say, it might be wrong. So, just waiting for the players to spawn in now. You can see the pings going off on both sides there. Would expect that they wouldn't necessarily spawn close to the metal, because that way it gives you more build room, especially with the command reclaim tactics. So, into the game we go. And what have we got here on the gunmetal grey team? You've got 2 Legion commanders going vehicles and bots first. Meanwhile on the south, with DirtyApples and AdmiralGeneral, you have both MLA in white going double bots first. So they'll both be commander reclaiming, which will allow them to really boost up their production, and equally only one commander will be reclaiming up here, although you can get out 2 combat fabs from the same factory, it just takes a little longer to do so. There's a lot of metal in your spawns as well, so an early T2 is viable. Early game, of course, you expect to see the players rushing out to the expansions, maybe trying to claim some territory in the middle ground, locking it down with some turrets or some pelters, some artillery, possibly even some mines. But most certainly what you see early on are some raiding attempts in terms of bombing runs. Although, given the fact that we've only got 1 air factory here, that's going to be less of a priority from white. Although with the Firefly running off there, they're going to get a good bit of intel on what's going on in this base. That gives them the full view of all those factories. If I just show you what they can see there, they can see the build, vehicle, double air bots, so they know that if they spam bots at this point, they can get a reasonable advantage. Going a second air for them, just to make sure that they're not left out of the air game, just in case. Of course, the Legion player equally trying to lock some things down. If we go and show the build previews there, you can see they're going for some more bots, some more air and some more vehicles, and lots of PGens down the back. Locking down for Legion is of course good. It prevents Nox shenanigans, boombots shenanigans. It doesn't necessarily prevent it indefinitely, but it staves it off for a time being. White team here really pushing ahead though. Just look at the expansion game there from these guys compared to that from the Legion players here. We've got maybe what, 4, 5 fabbers? Let's actually have a count and see how many we've got. 6 fabbers overall to 10. Oh wow, those scythes. Down goes a fab there. Good bombing run there, although that was a costly trade just for a single fab. Although then again, when you only have 6 to begin with, that's a little bit of a setback. The MLA guys though, with their fabber spam power, they can really expand quite rapidly, and indeed that they will do so. It looks like their fabricators got picked off over there by a couple of peacekeepers, however, so it's not all bad for the Legion team. So, MLA locking down expansions for the Legion, just sitting their docks there, which is nice, a nice touch, preventing any fabricators from going that way unless they are preceded by some form of military, be it Maul or Lancer or whatever. Shanks and Mauls coming out as a typical combination there, of course. Looks maybe deciding to move in a little bit, or was that just their guard radius? That was just their guard radius. Faber just escapes though. Where's he going off to? Trying to put up some walls. I might recommend just putting up, as Legion, these turrets are super cheap and quick to put up, so you may as well just put up the turrets first and then the walls thereafter. Losing combat Faber there, a bit careless for the Legion guys. Why are they sending out 1 or 2 units at a time? This is seemingly incredibly careless. T2 going up in the back of the base there. It's about halfway done. No T2 from the Legion folks as of yet. What can they see of the enemy base? They do not see the T2, though they do see a lot of bots and a couple of vehicles there as well. So they know that bots are a thing. Anyone expanding around the back yet? Nope. There you go, you see those docks taking out that fab, and all there are now, and a waste of metal on those walls. Just at least if you had a turret, it would have maybe killed off a couple of things there. Wow, look at that fab count though. Just rushing up that T2. I don't blame them really, you've got enough eco to be able to deal with it. 255 there, floating power, in lieu of the extra spending of the T2 factory. It's always good to make sure that you can afford to run a T2 factory before you get it up. This little force of tanks here could pose a small threat. Quite how big the threat is questionable, as we do have the Uber Cannon defense here. Strikes true and retreats. You've got Mauls at the front of your army. Push. Well, I suppose, I mean, by retreating you save the forces, but now you've alerted him to your presence, he's got the jump on you, rather than you having the jump on him. I also like this touch here. Grenadiers on the high ground, firing over volcanoes. That's a really nice touch. They're only chipping away at stuff, but especially when you're on the defensive, it actually all adds up. I also like these little mines that they're putting here and there. Sorry about the yawning, I've had some really bad night's sleeps and I think I'm coming down with something, so I do apologise for that. T2 vehicles as well, now that's going to be the clincher, certainly if Legion do not come up with their own. Good that they are, but push in the middle, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Walking into the surround of the turrets there, they will pick the fab, so it's not all bad, but still they lose a lot of bots. And the reclaim! The reclaim on the turret there. I mean, they will lose those combat fabs, but that was a ballsy thing there. Might be wise at this stage to pop in a few spinners into the mix. They're sort of running out of the air game, and the Legion bombers are putting in work, it has to be said, so spinners might pay off for them here. You're probably just about to hear a Skype noise, apologise for that. But it's not all bad. Certainly Legion seem to be playing a little too passively at this stage, I feel. Though they are getting their air game up, which is good. They got the T2 vehicles. The thing is now, though, White have this western approach. They haven't yet expanded to all that, and they could probably do well to do so. As you can see, their economy there, not in the best of shapes. But then again, they're getting up the T2 in their base. But still, if this force pushed in, that could actually, at this stage in the game, do a fair bit of damage. This is also where a lack of mid-game scouting really lets you down. Though Moore's coming in on the main, will meet a few slammers there. I think they took them down there, which is really good. Down go the combat fabs. Will he focus the slammer? You need to get rid of that slammer, and then you're clear. There it goes. There's another one in there now, however. Can they do it again? The micro, though, is real. Keeping that slammer alive. Bombers coming out again. Now, this is what I mean by the lack of air support or ground-based anti-air for the white team there. Now we have the T2 vehicles up, though. Now we have the levelers. The ping goes off from Grey. They've seen this. They realise this could really be a nail in their coffin. They realise they could probably just about handle slammers, but slammers and or levelers on different fronts is going to be a challenge for them. Especially how far forward that factory is. That's quite a worry for Legion, especially on this side. They've got a commander over here, and they've only got a few factories, not a great amount in terms of shored up defence. Even though the comm is pushed out forward there. But at this stage, I feel as though the Legion really need to hold off on pushing out. They need to make sure that, because they know what's coming at them now, they just need to make sure that they have the right unit composition to be able to deal with it. Running into mines and bombers there, not great for that group of Moors. But, oh dear. Because the Legion is kind of supposed to be playing defensively, but turrets is not the way you do it. Certainly not against bolstered up T2. Down goes one comm, and the second one is out in the front there. That comm dying, as well as that defensive position, really opens up this flank for a really, really strong push from white. I've noticed a few spinners mixing into the T1 tank forces there, as I said they would. Finally some Scorpions coming out with their little bits of subtle AA, which will be good. The thing is, again, they're kind of out of position here. There's another force pushing up the western flank. Eastern one is threatened by levelers. White pinging, saying, "Oi, look, there's some T2 vehicles trying to push in here. Need to deal with this." But the T2 factory is threatened, and I don't think it's going to survive this assault here. Scorpions just not quite putting in the work. Yeah, they're not focusing down the factory, I suppose. That's not too bad of a decision, thinking about it. The factory's quite a tanky thing, you know. Man, that Scorpion. Ooh. Inferno's in the base, though. Taking down some P-gens. A little bit of damage there. But the real danger is what's on the other front now. So if we go back into the army tab there, you got 50 units to 100. This is not looking good for Legion at all, and they still have not sorted out the whole unit counter thing. Also the fact that T2 is a thing. Oh dear, we've even got boom bots now. And more T2 factories. This game is squarely in the hands of the white team here. They picked a map that they knew they would absolutely destroy on, based on that loser's pick. And the Forgery just has so much starting metal, there's just not... It's almost not really cost efficient to really do raiding in the early game. May as well just keep your units back. So many people you're going to be like, what? Of course you got to raid. Well, yeah, but... Especially when you're Legion, you're going to be losing units to do so. There's the GG. And, victory goes to DirtyApples and AdmiralGeneral in that Clopsey 2v2. Best of 3. They take that. Silver, of course, to Cell and Aknod. Just were not able to adapt Legion to that particular map. Unfortunately for them, but well played both teams. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, bye for now.